So I understand, I agree with the idea of giving Shuan Head that kind of attention, because for the most part, she's right. And I don't blame these people for reacting to her. I just think it's kind of annoying when I see everybody doing it. But I don't blame these people for doing it, if that makes sense. In today's video, let's ask the question that I think everybody has asked themselves at one point or another. Is this VTuber a grifter? Or is this one? Or even all of these ones, perhaps? Well, I think that the answer is probably a little bit more simple. However, this guy didn't really think so when he made this video talking about how a lot of these women were fake cheerleaders in the VTubing scene for just saying that men matter too. I'd like to make it perfectly clear that I personally think that the majority of this guy's video, while I may agree with the initial premise that just saying men or women matter can be a little bit hollow when just said on Twitter.com, I also think for the most part he is a bit uneducated on the people he decided to talk about and makes himself look a little bit like a fool. Now, to be fair, a lot of these people have already given responses of their own. However, today I'm going to break down my thoughts of this and give my thoughts and opinions. The next day, I am planning to do a video where I show you my thoughts of these people upon first impressions of watching them doing their own reactions. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you liked, make sure to give it a like and a subscribe, and make sure to tell your Oshi what you think of this video. Alright, that's enough shilling for now. Okay, so let's talk about React content. React content is something I've wanted to talk about for a while because I think that I was looking at the, I was looking at some videos on this, and I realized that I agreed and disagreed with some of them. And one video that kind of like inspired me to make, want to make a video on this is one that came out recently that a lot of people, reacted to themselves, and two, in my personal opinion, was kind of, and I say kind of very, very, very loosely, like maybe he had 5% of it right, and then the rest of it was just like, you lost me very quickly. You lost me very, very quickly. And you used examples that I don't feel like apply, if that makes sense. But this video came out right around the summer when a lot of female React VTubers were coming onto the scene. They were talking about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and this guy came out, made a 7-minute video, and complained about it, basically. So, like I said, this video is... What is this video called? Because it had a different title. This video is called, I'm gonna keep changing this title, which means that it was titled something else originally. But we're gonna watch this video. I'm gonna tell you what he got right, and I'm gonna tell you everything else that he got wrong. And then we're just we're going to start reacting to some of these female VTubers, and I'm gonna give you my opinions of them. Anyway, let's go through this video here, and I will tell you what he got right, and then I will tell you everything else that he got wrong. So this quote is from him, says, by the way, he made this quote. Nowadays, everything feels like pandering. Sometimes you wonder if there's truth to anything, or am I just another pawn? Capitalism has killed authenticity. And yes, when you're trying to get to the top, you sometimes sacrifice authenticity in order to be the best. But I also don't think that that's always the case, because there's a lot of cases, I feel like, where capitalism actually does force people to be better than others. And, you know, if you come up with something that's legitimately better, like, I don't know. So it's just like, I disagree that capitalism kind of is ruining quote unquote authenticity. I think that's kind of a dumb comment. I can see the argument. I just don't think he's right. I just don't think he's right, period.
First off, happy Men's Mental Health Month and happy Pride Month. So
now what you have to understand is this, again, came out during Men's Mental Health Month and Pride Month as well. And so let me kind of paint you the landscape for this entire thing. During Men's Month, this 2025 is pretty quiet. Here, I'll turn it up just a little bit more here. let me paint the landscape for you guys so that you can kind of understand the landscape for 2025 when it came to Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Month was vastly different than many years before. To give you kind of like the idea, Pride Month basically didn't exist for a lot of people. A lot of corporations did not change their logos, which, you know, I really don't give a shit because changing your logo is just pandering in my personal opinion. And a lot of people seemed to turn their focus towards making sure that men were included in this year, which, you know, in my personal opinion, I would say that if you want to put a big emphasis on Pride Month, you should also put a big emphasis on all these other like days where it's supposed to be important for X person. You know, listen, if you want my personal opinion, I think a lot of holidays are just bullshit that are created to either make you spend money or pay attention to some cause that really doesn't give a shit. In my personal opinion, as a man, I would be fine without a Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. But guess what? Then we got to get rid of Pride Month and all these other days of visibility month. All right. We can keep the autism. We can keep the autism month. All right? I'll keep April. All right. As one of the most autistic people in the world. All right. I will keep my autism day and my autism month. All right. But we can get rid of everything else. All right. No Pride Month, no Men's Month, no Cis Month, none of those months. All right. Get them all out of here. We don't need them. All right. I am fine with none of them, okay? Because all it serves to do is it serves to allow to pandering from either which way. I believe that both sides of the political spectrum does it, and I'm fine without any of it. So, but anyway, to continue here. The landscape for 2025 was in a spot where a lot of creators, a lot of female creators, a lot of VTuber female creators came out of the woodworks, essentially, and a lot of their beginning messages stemmed from the fact that they also believed men too. And it was a message that I think a lot of people resonated with, and I think a lot of these creators did gain traction, and I think a lot of these creators did get a lot of positive feedback, because for the last decade, literally the last decade, I actually thought about this. I was like, how long back is this going? I was like, 2015? Yeah, 2015, maybe even a little bit before. But like, for the last decade, men have been told that they don't matter, they suck, they need to give space to other people, they need to shut up, basically. You know, I remember the Boys Will Be Boys commercial that I thought was so egregious and stupid, and it made me not want to like buy shaving products from Gillette anymore. But it's just like, for the last decade, men have been told they suck. And so this year, a lot of people started to come out and say, men matter too, or men also matter, essentially, or just that men, you also matter, is kind of like the message being told. And a lot of VTubers kind of jumped on that. Now, it is my personal opinion that a lot of the VTubers that jumped on that were pretty genuine, I would say. And now I think that he's going to contest that in this video here. And I feel like I'm speaking just a little bit too far ahead. But it is my opinion that, for the most part, a lot of the people that I saw come out and talk about it were pretty genuine, in my personal opinion. Now, the reason why I think that they were genuine is based off of the circumstances that they had around them, because, in my opinion, even though they're the tide of the culture is shifting, there still really was a lot of pushback for people kind of giving those kinds of statements. So I didn't really feel like a lot of incentive was there just yet, but a lot of people decided to just give it anyway. And I think that a lot of the people that gave their yes, men matter too, I feel like most of them were pretty genuine, if that makes sense. So,
all men across the spectrum. Straight men, gay men, white men, cis men, and the ever so lovely trans men, along with my fellow black men. Hope you guys are doing okay. Take care of yourself. Also, if you're one of those men who abuses these occasions as a gotcha against another group, or disrespectfully bring up male abuse under a post of a woman talking about her abuse, then you're a piece of shit.
See, now I think poisoning the well is the right term. I think poisoning the well is the right term, because you cannot say Happy Men's Month, but then also say, oh, but by the way, if you use this month to try and harm other people, that's dumb. That's dumb in my personal opinion. So I don't really like that sentiment. It's just like, if you want to send a message, don't include it in a statement where you're trying to be positive, unless you want to poison the well, or unless you want to also say, oh, by the way, I don't really care about this. Yeah, I don't really like it when people include a happy New Year or a happy birthday and then include a but right at the end, because it tells me that you aren't really authentic. It just tells me that you're trying to make people listen just to like stab them at this exact same time.
Because you actually don't care about men, you just care about being petty. Speaking of pieces of shit, I despise women who pretend to advocate for men by bringing down other women or downplaying their hardships.
Now, I will say I agree with that. Chat, I'm sure there are a lot of women that are in the quote-unquote right-leaning sphere that are trying to just put down other women, and they're doing it either because it is a grift or they're trying to impress a certain man or try to get a certain man in their bedroom with them. I believe that. I 100% believe that. However, my major issue is he is going to use examples that doesn't work. Like, if you want to use a good example, and I can't remember if he brings this woman up, but what is this woman's name? There is like a specific woman. But she'll like get on and like blast regular women. Pearl Davis. Yes, Pearl Davis. I don't know if anybody knows Pearl Davis, but like I don't like Pearl Davis because she's one of those creatures that like she will literally like degrade herself and degrade a whole lot of other individuals. And it's just like, listen, you can say men too without like actively undermining yourself and other people, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just don't like Pearl Davis. I think that like she's just kind of weird. I also think she's sometimes counterintuitive just a little bit as well. And she attacks other random women for no reason, like legitimately. Pearl Davis like got on Twitter and got pissed off that another woman was like proclaiming that she's got engaged to a man that she liked, and it's just like, okay, I agree that there are weird women out there that do this kind of thing. But is he going to show those weird women, or is he just going to show examples that he personally doesn't vibe with?
And this is not to disrespect sex workers. I respect the hustle. I am merely criticizing their methods of marketing, because that's what it is at the end of the day, a marketing strategy. Controversy is free advertisement. Division brings attention. And if you can convince the lowest rabbit, shout out to Pippa and Shuri, that there is someone in their corner willing to fight for them.
It is kind of weird that this guy likes Pippa, considering that he might back, because if he talks about how much he hates capitalism, it is weird that he hates Pippa, because I think Pippa's okay with capitalism.
They'll empty their pockets in the drop of a hat. That is how the fox hunts. And I like to call this genre of women fake cheerleaders. Shout out to OMI. And VTubing is no stranger to fake cheerleaders. Have you seen reaction VTubers? Hell, the running joke.
Man, he brought up like 2 to 3 examples right there that really charged things off here. He brought up some example here. You know what? Here we'll let me see if I can scroll back just a little bit. See if I can like all right, Powder. Powder's a really good example. All right, I think Powder is a pretty decent person. With the brief interactions that I've had with her, I think that she does good. I think that she is way far beyond just like, and I do have her on the list for today, by the way. But I think that Powder goes way far beyond just being like a normal female VTuber. She has, I know from the brief understanding I have that she has interest. She's really big into 40K. She's got a lot of really decent opinions, and I think she's a pretty good person. Overall, I think she's a decent person. My point is, I think that Powder's a bad example. Off the bat. Bad example off the bat, because I think that she's just a decent human being. All right? That's it. Smug Alana, another one. Now, I am not as well versed on Smug as with others, so I am going to have to watch her content. I will tell you, I have seen a lot of her content is doing a lot of reaction content. Now, that's not the point of his video. I'm just saying a lot of her content is reaction-based content. At the very least, what her YouTube videos are. I don't know all of the stuff that she does on stream. I've seen her do stuff with Curse sometimes, but I know that her YouTube videos, what she uploads on YouTube, is a lot of reaction-based content. But I also do believe that she is sincere. I have no like from the brief understanding I have no reason to see that she's not sincere. I think that she's actually incredibly sincere with what she believes. I don't know. That's just my opinion, honestly.
Hell, the running joke in Lucy's fan base is the I hate women jokes.
It's so easy. It's so easy. Just do it. I'm a woman.
Yes, I know they're meant to be playful jabs, but I just want an excuse to mention this thing. or any other non-political political VTuber is the fact that it isn't a grift, it's a marketing strategy. Whenever I see a female VTuber make a men's day post, I view it the same way I view corporate pride tweets, made with $signs and brownie points, because it's just another form of virtue signaling. At least in my opinion, because I am a very cynical and flawed individual, but I don't believe for a single second that this bitch has a single authentic bone in her body, and her advocacy for men is about as flat and hollow as the avatar she controls. All you have...
Okay, so I can agree that it is definitely, and like I've said already, it is definitely a marketing strategy now to be more conservative, to say men matter, to try and advocate for the underdog or the little guy right now in the culture war, and quickly changing from the underdog. But like, I understand the point he is saying, and like I said, there probably is, all right, there probably is some incentive that these girls probably internalize and can agree with, that yes, it will get me attention. But I don't believe that a majority of these people are thinking that when they say that. Again, I think the reason why I was immediately able to write that off is a lot of those people all have boyfriends or are married. Like the Banana Girl, Banana Juju. I think that she's got a husband. And in fact, I think he's been on stream. I think Kitsu has like a boyfriend as well. I don't know about very many of the other ones, but like I know that some of the people who have made these opinions actually have men in their lives, and they actually sound like they're not like crazy women. They actually sound like girls that depend on the men as much as the men depend on the women. So yes, I can agree it is a marketing strategy, but I also think that these women are sincere. If that makes sense. Like legitimately, I think that they're sincere.
To do is look at their content and ask yourself, am I being pandered to? How are they constantly holding the same opinion that matches perfectly with my worldview? And why do they all have similar takes on shoe on head?
Okay, I will say, all right, this is one of the biggest criticisms I will say right here, right now. All right? When it comes to reaction content, and then by the way, I'd like to make this known, this is my opinion. All right? This is my opinion. You should not take this as an abject fact. You don't have to take this as something that like that you should take to the bank, all right? But it gets very draining and very boring to see the same person or the same shoe on head here. It gets extraordinarily annoying that a lot of VTubers react to shoe on head. I mean, like Tectone does as well, but like so many VTubers react to shoe on head. It is like okay. Like, I understand that she is fun to react to, and she's got the opinions that everybody agrees with. I will even say I reacted to her once, just to see what the hype was. But, like, listen, I don't know. Again, this is an opinion of mine, but, like, it really does feel kind of boring to see the fact that there are so many VTubers that just react to shoe on head. And I'll be honest with you, it is kind of a meme. I've seen people draw art of all of the big VTuber girls that react to shoe on head. Someone has drawn art of them together, and I'm not necessarily saying this is bad. All right, I am not saying this is bad. All right, you know, if they like shoe on head's opinions, that is completely fine. I am fine with a lot of shoe on head's opinions for the most part. I think that she's pretty decently fine. Again, I don't care. I don't watch many of these people. I just noticed all of them react to shoe on head all the time. All the fucking time. She likes Squala. Oh, I know she does. She likes a lot of these female VTubers a lot, and I think it's because they all react to her. My opinion, not indicative of the entire personality. All right, not at all. So, you know, it's whatever. It's whatever. I don't know. That's just a personal like weirdness to me.
That's a serious question, by the way. Why are VTubers attracted to Shu? Like it or not, VTubing is a business.
Because she says a lot of things that these people agree with. And even though I just said I don't like that all of them react to shoe on head all the time, I will say shoe on head speaks a lot of truth. Even though I find it funny and slightly annoying, I know why they do it. I do think maybe some of it is lucrative to react to Shoe on Head. I also think that that like she is right, and a lot of these women feel like she is a voice that they can agree with. Because I think a lot of women are looking for bigger women in the sphere to say, I agree and resonate with her opinion. So, I can understand that. Because we are, again, coming out of an era where women that have more normal, more regular, normal is like really the best way to say it, all right? For the last decade, women that are normal, all right? And I'm not saying that to be mean. I am saying that as a matter of fact, all right? A lot of these VTubers that are really big, they are not big because they are crazy or insane or they have opinions that go crazy beyond the norm. No, they're liked because they're normal opinions that is correct, all right? A lot of these opinions are just normal. They're normal, and it's what the normal everyday guy outside agrees with. All right, a lot of what Shu said, like if you get down to brass tacks, a lot of these VTuber women are normal human beings. They are normal human beings, and when they watch Shoe on Head espouses normal human being ways of thought. She has a normal opinions, and a lot of these women that were told that their opinions are wrong for the last decade, they probably look at Shu and say, "Damn, I can't. I'm gonna give my support, or I'm gonna watch her and elevate her because she says exactly what I'm thinking, and I want to elevate her voice." And I'm not saying that as a matter of fact, but like that's the thought that I have with some of these people, some of these VTubers. They're like, Shoe on Head is saying what I'm thinking, and I really like that there's another woman that has a big voice, and I want to elevate that. Basically, that's the impression I kind of get, because a lot of these VTubers are just normal people with normal thoughts and opinions. And again, it sounds crazy to think that that's the case. And I do believe that some of these female VTubers are big because it's controversial to be normal still. And it's controversial to be normal.
VTuber.
Thank you for the 10.
/octopus mommy milf avatar.
Robert Norwood tipped Octopus Mommy MILF $10. Isn't a part of the issue based on the chats of these VTubers demanding they react to the current hot topic, which makes it look like they are cloud jumping.
I mean, like, if you, it depends. It really does depend. I would have to see specific examples to be a judge on this. Because the only thing I've really seen, in my brief look-throughs of this, is I do know that some of these women have suggestion areas, and they will go to the suggestion areas. But I also think that some of the content that they take suggestions for is content that they probably would have looked at already, if that makes sense. So, anyway, let me restart my opinion here. Thank you again for the 10. It is still controversial to be normal. And so because of that, and by normal, I'm not like saying that like there's a cookie cutter way for people to exist. I don't think that at all. But what I'm saying is a majority, and this is something that's really hard for people to understand, and I have to constantly remind myself of this, because if I don't, I will think that I'm going insane. But the normal world outside is full of people that don't live in politics, that don't live in drama. They eat, they live, they die. And then they have fun stuff that they do in between. And for the last decade, they've been told that their way of life is not normal. And a lot of these female VTubers that react to Shoe on Head and resonate with Shoe on Head and agree with Shoe on Head, a lot of them like her because she is saying this is normalcy. This is normal life. And then they point to the bad stuff and say this isn't normal. And they resonate with that because that's what they want. They want the normal life to come back. They want for things to be normal. They want what they've been told by their parents what their lives were. So I understand, I agree with the idea of giving Shoe on Head that kind of attention, because for the most part, she's right. And I don't blame these people for reacting to her. I just think it's kind of annoying when I see everybody doing it. I say that, and maybe one day I'll do it just as a joke again. I don't know, I've already done it once, but my point is, like, I don't blame these people for doing it. I don't know. I just find sometimes I find overreaction to be annoying. Is maybe the right way of saying it, but I don't blame these people for doing it. If that makes sense. Anyway, it's kind of a long belabored point to just kind of go through my thought process here, but yeah.
Business and content creation is a job, and it's a content creator's job to know their audience and pander to them for maximum profit. Welcome to capitalism. And as that particular fact is why I hold the opinions I do in this video. Fake cheerleaders and Twitter freaks are two sides of the same coin. Both pretend to care about disadvantaged groups for social or monetary gain, both put down their own groups to uplift another, and both of their morals aren't determined by the size of their hearts, but by the size of their ego and bank account. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy certain issues are being acknowledged, but I hate how shallow and toxic social media and capitalism made the conversation.
Now, what he's going to get into here, if I remember this video, it's been a while since I've watched this video. I've watched this video quite a few times. Here's what I will say. I am waiting to see what his examples are. If I remember correctly, he doesn't give good examples. Or really, any examples. It is my recollection that in this video, he just points to a bunch of female VTubers and says that they're fake cheerleaders and then moves on.
Around it. It's either people trying to sell you the illusion of
like he's doing right now,
passion, or directly contributing to the problem. If these fake cheerleaders actually cared about us, they'd actually use this month to try to be a guiding voice for the men in their communities, acknowledging the nuances and complexities that...
Okay, but here's the problem. A lot of them did. I remember Banana Juju the most because, like, mostly just because she kind of popped up massively around June because of her dumb controversies that everybody made shit fits about. But like, a lot of these creators did, and I really don't know what the standard is for, like, pushing forward this kind of shit. Like, I don't know, like, if he's saying, oh, we need to have these people go out into public and do this kind of shit. But in my personal opinion, doing streams and talking about this kind of shit, giving men spaces, or even just saying, you know what, I think that, you know, we should contribute. Here's places where you can donate, where you can help out men, you know, X, Y, and Z. Like, I think these VTubers did that. A lot of people did. Again, I'm willing to agree that there are grifters out there on the scene. And hello, Pearl Davis. But, like, I think it would be extremely disingenuous to say that all of these people, all right, all of these people were just trying to grift off of it, because I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. I think a lot of them were very sincere, and again, I attribute some of them to actually having men in their lives as to why I believe that.
Social roles given to us oversimplify how a lot of men and women's struggles are linked by cause and effect that are magnified by our human flaws and not contributing to the problem by fanning the flames of division. This girl did it. She did it perfectly. I like this channel.
I'd have to watch her content to agree or disagree. But hold here on. Let me scroll back here because he talks about Smuggalana here. You do have to agree, yes, when these people do these reactions, it is a way for people to get views, because people do get views by doing this kind of thing, all right? All right? A lot of VTubers do reaction-based content. This is actually like a conversation I've had with people where it's just like whether or not it's good that you get views off of this shit. My personal opinion is transformative. I really don't give a shit. You know, I make content where I react to things. You know, obviously I spend a lot more time in some areas than maybe some other people do. That doesn't matter, because as long as it's transformative, it's good. But, like, I don't care that these people make money off of this, because for a couple of different reasons. All right, and this is something I've always kind of been on. It's always been kind of like on a scale for me, and I feel like a lot of people refuse to kind of have this thought process because they really just want to point at something and say thing bad. All right, Smuggalana is bad because she's making, let's see, that thing has 50,000-60,000 views. She made $20 off of this video. And maybe she makes more off of this video. I don't know. I'm attributing the money I've made off of videos that got similar. She made $20-30 off of this video about Men's Mental Health Month. She made $20-30 off of this video. Okay, cool. I don't care. Because people need to make money. And as long as they're not being scumbags for it, I don't care. I mean, like you know, if a priest has to preach to his choir every single week, Is the priest just living off of like the sustenance of God? No, the priest has to ask people to sustain him. And it's just like the difference between a grifter and somebody who is being sincere and making content is really the person behind it. Now, I don't know Smug 100%. I have seen some of her content. All right. I really don't know. But I'm willing to bet that Smug is probably not a grifter. From the brief time that I have observed and watched her, Smug sounds like a normal person. Again, that goes back to my argument. These are normal people saying this is normal. And I don't doubt that to some of these people, it is a bit of a marathon to dab on silly situations. I do agree that right now there is like maybe an oversaturation is I would say that there is a bit of an oversaturation of people, either VTubers or non-VTubers, that is dabbing on the culture stuff. I see a lot of people giving their opinions on that, and I do feel like there is an oversaturation of that. By the same token, I feel like even though there is an oversaturation, there's a market correction that is always constantly happening, and the best people get to stand. Thank you, capitalism. I don't know. I'm kind of walking in a circle here, but I don't feel like this is like these videos by Smugalana are indicative of the entire purpose here. Because like, okay, yeah, because she wants to talk about these things. Okay, I don't care. You know, she gets views on these videos. Okay, like I said, 55,000 views, 62,000 views. That's $20, $30. She probably gets more money doing her live streaming. Okay, I don't care. You know, I don't mind. Smugalana's gonna eat too. I highly doubt that she's got somebody that's like, I mean, like, unless she's got a husband that works outside of this, I'm sure that she has to feed herself. I don't mind if she makes that money over those videos. You know, I don't care. If it's oversaturated, I would say maybe diversify a little bit, but that's a nitpick. That's my personal nitpick. It's a nitpick for mostly my content, not hers. And I can't really get mad if right now the zeitgeist, is that the right word? I can't really get mad if like right now the meta is to just make this kind of content. Because until YouTube says React content is dead, which they can't really do effectively because that would kill a lot of content in general. But until they do that, like, I can't really blame her for that because, you know, if it makes money, judge the quality, not the fact that it exists. And that's kind of the point that I kind of came to realizing, and some people talked with me about, and it's just like, you can't really judge the content idea. You can just judge the work that went into it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure a lot of these people do like lineup videos on their stream, and they do sit down with it. But I'm willing to bet most of them aren't shitty about it. I mean, like, we'll find out here as I react to some of their content. But I'm willing to bet that Smug ain't like that, because if she was, she probably wouldn't be as popular as she would. Or maybe she would. I have no idea. I haven't seen a lot of her content. All I know is the brief time watching, she doesn't seem like she's bad at it. I don't know. We'll judge as we go on. But like, I don't agree with this point here. All right, I just don't agree. It's like, yep, people make money off of this. You're making money off of this video. Although he privated this. No, he didn't private this video. He unlisted this video, so he's not making money off of it. That's basically it. It's just like, I don't care if they're making money. I don't care if they're making money or getting views from it. I care if the quality is good. And even then, that's my personal opinion. So that's the good part about capitalism, by the way. If a VTuber, if Smugalana sucks and another Fox VTuber does better, shout out your favorite Fox VTuber, guess what? Thankfully, because it's a free market, I don't have to watch her. I can go watch my other favorite Fox VTuber, all right? That's the beauty of capitalism, all right? One sucks, there's another one that'll do better. That's how it works.
Flames of division. This girl did it. She did it perfectly. I like this shit.
Great, and she probably made money off of it. Oh. I'm not trying to be mean, but no, never mind. I was about to say he was misgendering, but technically this individual has she, they, he, so technically you can't misgender somebody that has all three there. It's kind of like a game of it's a collectathon right there where you have all of them. Anyway, let's continue.
So is Men's Mental Health Month. The big M. Now what? What are you gonna do? The same shit you always did, just with that happy men's month at the end of it. You know, I just like my Men's Days video because I hate how I approach the topic. But I still stand by the core message of that video, which is, what are you doing specifically to help men? Feeling sorry for yourself? That's not good enough.
Again, I think the thing that's very important is not a lot. I'm sure some of these women probably are like upset with other women. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure some of these women are like, I'm sorry on behalf of other women. I'm sorry on behalf of men sometimes, you know? When I see Tectone being a shitlord, you know, maybe I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry that on behalf of men that Tectone's being a shitlord. You know, okay. You know, some women are like that, but I am assuring you, and not all women are like that.
It's gonna bitch about how crappy your life is? I didn't know we were the black community. When was the last...
Okay, that was good. I do I'm not saying anything. I think the laugh is good enough.
Time you called your homie, a male family member? When was the last time you both just sat down and talked to each other about life?
If we're talking in person, it's been a while because all my buddies live across state, but I talk to my buddies all the time.
Sending a friendly DMs. Like, what is our yearly tradition? What purpose will our actions serve for this month?
I'm going to be honest with you again. I am willing to listen. All right. I am willing to petition. If anybody reacts to this video, here's what I will say. I am okay getting rid of all the health months. All right. No men's mental health month, no pride month, no black history. Well, no. Yeah. Let's get rid of that one too. None of them. No more months of joy. All right. Everybody gets to be down at the bottom together. All right. We don't need a month to celebrate anything. We'll have days to celebrate the troops that we lost. We'll have days to celebrate how amazing America is, because America is the best. And, you know, maybe a couple of other days, but like no more days for specific people, period. Get rid of them. No more days, except for the autism one.
I'll tell you, have the rest of this month be a month of compassion for your fellow men and fellow women. Actually, no, be a month of compassion.
See, because here's the funny part is he's like, guys, let's make it about all of us dudes and women. Okay, then it's not men's mental health. See, that's my problem here, is it can't just be guys, we have to all pull together. It has to be guys and girls, let's pull together. It's like, okay, it's either all or nothing. All or nothing. Either it's a month for men's mental health awareness or no month, period, for anybody, all right? I'm fine with no month for anybody, all right? No month for anybody, period. Excuse me. But it's just like, you can't just say, guys, let's pull together, and then women also come in. It's just like, no. Then it's not Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Then it's just Men and Women Month. So it's either all, what does that mean from iDubbbz? It's either all okay or none of it's okay. And in my opinion, none of it's okay.
For your fellow humans. Because no one is coming to save us, and no one is coming to save you. Our path is determined by how we treat the people next to us. Yes, women can suck. Yes, men can suck. People can suck, because we are flawed human beings, but we are flawed beings with the ability to make the conscious decision to be better. Gay pride has done a lot for men's health because it challenged our perception of masculinity and what it means to be.
I'm not going to judge it too harshly, but I don't know how much of what he is saying right now is true.
Masculinity isn't about the battles you've won, the women you meet, or the size of your body. It's about the ability to be unapologetically yourself, live your life on your own terms, and have compassion for your fellow human beings.
I thought masculinity was pretty damn well defined. I don't know if that's listen. To me, my masculinity is being a man, the gender I was born in, living my life as a man. Being an online creator is a little bit different because I'm acting right now, but like, being a man, all right, I don't think that I feel like that what he's saying is so generalized that it could literally be applied to women too. I feel like it's so overly broad what he is saying. It's just like, okay, that could apply to men and women as well. Just like, don't try and define masculinity. Define it for yourself, and that's it. Oh, excuse me. Good, kind of confusing? Well, that's good.
You're allowed to be flawed. Everyone is, but it doesn't mean you have to let it define you. And those traits aren't just exclusive to men. Women can have them too. Hell, non-binary people can have
Oh, okay. I'm not ready to have that argument today.
them too. Because when you put aside our biological differences, at our core, we are complex human beings. And yes, those differences can piss us off. Hell, you might want to throw someone out the window, but that does nothing except create more problems. You're allowed to hate. You're allowed to love. You're allowed to be angry and express that. But just don't let it define you. But that's just my perspective. Bye.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. Like, I understand the premise of the argument here, okay? My thought process is, this guy has a vague idea of what like I have a vague idea, in my personal opinion, of what he's trying to go for. The premise of the video is don't be a grifter, and I feel like at its core, the idea of we need people to not be grifters and be genuine, I could agree with that. I feel like most people are going to agree with that that premise. Yeah, I would like it if no female VTubers were grifters. I'm not going to say if I think any are, unless it's very blatantly obvious. Yeah, I think we can agree. We don't want grifters. We want genuine, real people. We don't just want people that come down and do what the same thing that all of the other people do. We want genuine people. I agree. I think everybody can agree with that. And in fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of the women that this video was like targeting, they probably would agree with that too. I definitely think a lot of them would agree with that too. But like when you actually sit down and listen to this video, I don't feel like this guy knows what he's talking about. In fact, I know he knows not what he's talking about, because in the follow-up video that this guy did, he basically said, by the way, I've never actually watched a lot of these people's content, which tells me that a lot of his analysis was based off of just the small clips he saw on Twitter and whatever the fuck he decided to watch on YouTube. Now, I can understand that, in my personal opinion. I get that. Because sometimes I've judged people just based off of what I've seen on Twitter, and I'm trying not to do that. Because I think that Twitter is not really indicative. I think a lot of people base their opinions of somebody based off of just the random shit you see on Twitter, and that's not really indicative. Because if you look at their stream or you join their stuff or you try and talk to them, they're typically very different. And I know that a lot of people are guilty of that. Not just this guy, not just me. But I know a lot of people are guilty of that. But, you know, I think that that's something that we all could do just a little bit better about, is not trying to put ourselves in the way where that's how we're thinking. So, with that in mind, this video itself is why I wanted to talk about reaction channels. Basically.